Welcome back, everyone, to the Three Rings Circus that is the mainstream media. We have now Chief Legal Analyst at CNN, Jeffrey Toobin, ranting about the investigation into the FISA warrant, the Steele dossier, and everything else that prompted an investigation that lasted over 2 years and found nothing. So, during the time of Mueller, we have to protect Mueller, protect Mueller, protect Mueller. It's obstruction to say that Mueller is on a witch hunt. It's obstruction to say, I didn't do this. It's obstruction to prove the media wrong. But now, Mr. Toobin believes that AG Barr, investigating how a FISA warrant was issued on something that even the author has claimed now was unverified. We have multiple instances where we found out different things in the dossier are fake, outright lies. But to investigate how that was used, and that was the only impetus for the FISA warrant, was the Steele dossier. There was nothing else presented to that judge. So, investigating how that document full of lies led to a FISA warrant that allowed the sitting U.S. president to spy on a candidate for president who was in no way connected to the government other than being a citizen. Well, that's just chilling. This is the Democrats' ploy. You notice for 2 years, any arguing with them, any whisper that you didn't 100% support the Mueller probe, that you didn't believe all their crap about Russia, pardon me, any inkling that you weren't fully on board with them was obstruction. And it's just, you're making it dangerous for him to do his job. But when Attorney General Barr says, okay, we've got Mueller's report, there was no collusion, there is no evidence of obstruction. So now I want to know why we spent 2 years investigating something that wasn't there. It's chilling. Of course, we have this from Toobin here that he doesn't buy it. I think about the chilling message it sends to career non-political people in the FBI, the Justice Department. What it means is if you defy the president's wishes. Let's see. Defy the president's wishes is now equal to investigating him for 2 years and finding nothing. His political appointees, like the AG, they won't initiate one investigation, they won't initiate two. 3 investigations of you for doing your job. It's a really chilling message. Well, unfortunately, for them, the bulldog that was appointed to find out what's going on has a reputation for not being political. CNN tried to attack this by putting apolitical in quotation marks, as if it's a joke. But he has worked with and for Democrats and Republicans. He knows the law. And they're afraid of that because they know that if the truth comes out that they actually broke United States law, they're going to be looked at by everyone, and everyone will want them, rightly, to be held accountable for breaking the law. They can't stand the sheer fact, the absolute fact, that they could not, in over 2 years, find anything they could twist and turn into something to put President Trump out of the Oval Office. In 2 years, they could find nothing because it's all based on lies. And now they're worried for their lives because they know that a bulldog is coming after them, and he's going to find out everything that he can. I personally want him to look at Seth Rich, Antonin Scalia, and every other accidental or death or suicide that has happened. Because, I'm sorry, I don't believe that a man who is barely over 70 and in reportedly very good health for his age just happens to die in the middle of the night as a guest in another man's home. I don't believe that someone was mugged and later dies in the hospital after doctors said he was recovering when he's shot in the back of the head, or shot from behind, and nothing was taken. I don't believe it's suicide when you have 2 bullets to the back of your head. Yes, I'll admit, I've read enough murder mysteries, I've read enough Sherlock Holmes, watched enough television to know that, yes, someone out there may rig a pulley system to make it look like homicide and shoot themselves in the back of the head. But you're not going to get a second shot, people. It's just not going to happen. And we have people dead by a double tap to the back of the head declared suicide. So I want this to cover everything. And that should frighten a lot of people, because if they have those skeletons in their closet where they made someone go away who was going to end their career, or they've been part of an attempted coup d'etat, or they've just been lying as they are wont to do in the Democratic Party and in the rhino side of the GOP. This has to stop. You know, there's an old saying that the founders would have already picked up their rifles by now, but it's true. We went to war with England 243 years ago, 243 plus years ago, over a stamp tax. Now we're taxed at 20% or higher on average, and we see very little of that actually used on us. And when we contact our representatives or senators, we get canned responses. I've written to mine multiple times, and I get a canned response. It's almost like they have hundreds of files on a computer somewhere with an intern that plugs in a topic that generates a form response mentioning that topic. But now we actually are starting to get people in office that aren't your traditional politicians. You know, people like Dan Crenshaw, who honestly is probably scaring the living bejesus out of a lot of liberals because he's not a politician. You can't just make him vote the way you want him to. You can't intimidate him. And that's what we got with President Trump. It's what we got with Bill Barr. And now with this bulldog who's going to be investigating the investigators. And I want Mr. Durham to do his job. And then when that job is done, very simply, I want justice to be served. And at this point, with everything I have seen, that's likely to mean jail time for a lot of people. And these are people who have, for years, if not decades, flouted every law they want. To the point where in 2016, when Donald J. Trump actually won the presidential election over Hillary Clinton when it was rigged for her, it just had to be Russia. It just had to be Russia. Honestly, I'm waiting on one of these idiots in the mainstream media to be reporting about some election in Russia and say there was Russian collusion when it didn't go the way the liberals of the world wanted. I won't be surprised, honestly, say Vladimir Putin wins the next election, I won't be surprised to see an idiot like Acosta or Cooper or Stelter say it's just obvious that Mr. Putin was colluding with Russia to win this investigation, and they won't see anything stupid about that. But hopefully by the time we're anywhere near that, CNN will have ratings so low that they'll finally realize and lay off the idiots causing it. As for this story, I'm hopeful that it won't be just swept under the rug. I want Mr. Durham to be the bulldog we've seen in the past and to get to the bottom of this. But we'll have to wait and see. And I've talked long enough on this. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Just remember to keep it civil. We don't learn from an argument. We learn from debate. As always, also, please remember to like and share this video, as well as to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're the first to know of all new content as it is posted. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.